All right, here is the speed run of Axel the Elf's Christmas Catastrophe. We're going to start with a lookup, but before we make a lookup, why don't we make a table, all right? Control-Shift-8, Control-T, make this a nice table here, and I'll call the table D for data. So X lookup, D, name, returning D state. Gonna add the address there and the correct parentheses. All right, so now we're gonna make the children naughty or determine if the children are naughty or nice. So if the sum of minus this, all right, close that, close the sum, is greater than or equal to 2, then then nice, otherwise naughty. All right, there's my naughties and nices. So now I should call this behavior. So now, equals X lookup, the name on the name, returning the behavior is good for level 2. What toys are in each state? I like to use, Excel has a beautiful group by function, but I don't know. I like pivot table better. So I put my states here, and I put toys here. There is a number of toys, and that's all I need, right? So equals X lookup, the state here on the state row, returning on the toy rows. Why don't we call this pivot so we can find it? And then I do also need the names of the toys. So go there, and then now biggest is the lambda I use to find the biggest number and return the corresponding value. All right, same thing, but for naughty and nice. So now for this here, I'm going to add a filter for nice. And then at this one here, I'll add a filter for naughty. And, I've already got nice now. So now I need the same thing for naughty, right? Which is in rows 30 to 49. So copy this in rows 30 to 49. So what the biggest of this returning on this for the nice children, and the biggest on this returning on this for the naughty children. And then we look up naughty or nice on here, returning here. All right, now Santa's going to go on some trips to different states. Santa is going to go in a certain order. He's going to go state by state, right? But he's going to go alphabetical based on first name. So he's going to go to that within each state. So now I need to filter the toy list by the state equals Texas in this case, right? The state. So those are the toys. I need to know the toy space, the space before packing the toy, the space after packing the toy, or well, before that, I need to know if I need a new sack or not. I need to know the space after, and let's say the sack number, right? So the toy space, just gonna look up here on the toy space lookup table. So there, locked, returning here, locked. Space before starts at 10. I know I don't need a new sack for the first one, right? So the space after is if the toy space is greater than the sack space, then yes, we need a new sack. Otherwise, no. Or wait, that's new sack. I'll put in that for new sack now, even though I know there's no toys greater than 10. Might as well get that in. So that's that. And then the space after is if we have a new sack, then it's 10 minus the toy. Otherwise, it is the amount we started with minus the toy. All right, and then the sack in, right? We start with sack number 1, and then sack in, and then this one is just this plus the new sack, right? And I need this to go down pretty far, right? Because different states have different amounts. So let's make this, I don't know, 500 should be enough for any state. Texas is like 200. I mean, Texas is a big state. I don't know. I don't think anybody would go over 500. All right, so that goes all the way down like that. Space before, now space before, it's got to be based on that though, right? There we go. Now we've got all of this. And then, you know, the sack number is just the highest of, not that, that's the wrong column. Of this is the number of sacks. So now I need to know for sack in, what is the child's first letter of their last name. So, you know, letter. I mean, first of all, I need the children's names, right? So that's the same as this, except it's the name. And then the letter, right? So it's index of text split. This with a space, index 2 is their last name, right? So I just want left is the first character of that. So now I just look up the sack number on there, returning here. All right, and then finally we need to know about the food. So why don't I just put, I mean, I need almost all the data now, right? So here, why don't I just put all the data? No, not and data, pound data. Is that not how that works? D pound data, right? Filter. Oh no, it's these would be X lookup. That's why. X lookup. This name on D name, right? Returning D data. Don't need that. So now we have all of this information. It's going to go down here, 500 rows, just in case we need it. And then I need to know the snack time. All right, so I'm going to look up the snack name. Nope, that's not a snack name. That's a toy name. Look up the snack name on here, locked, returning here, locked. All right, so that's the snack time here. So time used is if the child is naughty, then 0. Otherwise, it's the maximum of this, right? You eat both snacks at the same time. So whichever one gets finished last is the one we use. And this, I know it's probably got some errors in it because of the lack of stuff, right? So 0 if there's an error. So now we can just sum up the snack time, right? Plus and it's 5 seconds for each trip, right? So plus 5 times the number of trips, right? Which is, the maximum of sack numbers. All of that, and I believe we round the answer to the nearest second. And that should be good for level 7. We have 1,000 points so far. How many child's names begin with XMAS? Well, let's do it this way. We'll take the left of just of their name, nothing else. Ooh, not that way though. Equals left of their name correctly. And then run this into our frequency table. And what do we need? We need X, M, A, S. Add those up. 2697 in the bar. All right, how many children are all 4 of these things? All 4 of these good behaviors on Santa's list? Well, I'll just use the auto filter. It'll give me a count of the auto filter, right? So true, 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 and true. 577 cases are selected. Which surname appears most frequently? All right, well, gotta know my surnames here. So the surname is the index of text split of the name by a space, index 2, right? Those are the surnames. And if I can do a frequency table subroutine here, takes a second. There's 10,000 of them. And then I don't see the color one, but I can sort, and there it is. Curtis. Which state has repealed a ban on one toy? My pivot table is like, I can see there's a toy here that has nothing except for one state that likes to live dangerously. And that state is New York State, right? So there's the state that allows the dartboard. All right, highest scoring child's first name using, the letters. So why don't I just change this to first names real fast? And then I'll just move this over and do a little string to array of this. And I can XLOOKUP these on my pre-prepared alphabet table. This returning this. Oh, I found a bug in this before. The letter O is missing. I have to add that. Gotta fix that on my thing here. Not all of the letters are missing though. Looking up on K, returning L. It's probably reverse, right? Yeah, it's reverse. Looking up on L, returning K, and summing those up, and also fixing my lookup table so I'm not missing the letter O. 15 is O, an important letter of the alphabet. Like all of them are important. This, and then it's not even big. It's just the highest score is what it's asking for. So it's just the max of this. 139. Stop the clock. Thanks for watching.